Thank you for coming to check out Bumping into Walls. This month, we have a guest all the way from somewhere in Kentucky. Christina Paulmer, can you introduce yourself and tell us where you're from?
Yes, my name's Christina Paulmer. I am from Eastern Kentucky. It is 40 minutes from, 80 minutes from Lexington, 3 hours from Louisville,
There you go.
in the heart of the country,
And it is
where
real.
the trees grow.
Oh. Okay. All right. So.
And let me see, I originally lived in Michigan. We moved here when I was 8, and I've been here ever since in Kentucky. I was in public school as I lost my vision. They didn't know much about that, and I had to use a lot of different tools: large print, dark line paper, dark pens, no pencils. And I graduated in 96. Eventually took me years to find a place to train. I went to Louisville to McDowell Center in 2013, learned braille, cooking and cleaning, computer assisted technology, O&M.
What is O&M?
O&M is orientation and mobility with the white cane, which a lot of sighted people call it the stick. It's not the term for it. It's called a white cane. And that will make us mobile, the people that can't see. They have many different canes. They even have a identification cane, which is orange and yellow instead of red and white like ours, for people that don't know. And so then, let me see, where was I? O&M. Took me 5.5 months. I had to come out for cataract surgery due to what I have, which is RP for short, retinitis pigmentosus. It deals with the back of the eye, scars, your veins go slim down, and your blood flow is not as good. It destroys your rods and cones, which is your light perceptors of your eye that does colors, pictures, the whole 9 yards for you to be able to read and see. So that's why I had to go for training. Let's see. And now I'm a braille user. Back in 16, I had to go back for more training, 2016. And I met another friend there and discovered, with helping others there after classes, that I wanted to be a braille teacher. Well, I couldn't go to college at that time. I didn't know where I had to, do things. So I just went. My friend asked me in 2017, when I come out of training and stayed home, if I could help him with braille. And I said, sure, but I don't have a license, I told him. He said, well, how are we going to do it? So I told him we were going to do it without a book, because we both didn't have a book. It was mostly verbal, like the dots, which braille is dots, and it's like a square, like a dominoes. You have 1, 2, 3 on the left, 4, 5, 6 on the right. And that's what the braille. So I taught him, and now I only volunteer basis because I still don't have a license to train people. So I do virtual, just volunteer my time to help people. And I've been all over the states with that, just because of one person. And I'm recently just enrolled in college. I'm going to be going there for 4 years. And there's not no bachelor's degree for visual impairment in the state of Kentucky. So I'm going through all disabilities program, 5 to 9, and then I'll go on to a master's class for visual impairment. That way I can teach what I've learned to others with a license. So, see what else that I want to add. Now, Braille, people that don't know, Braille, Louis Braille is the one that made Braille. It's a tactile reading for the blind and visually impaired. Let's see, he was a captain that he come across back in, of course, he's born in 1809, Louis Braille was, and he lost his vision due to wanting to help his dad, and his dad stepped out of the shop. He was a blacksmith, and it was a sharp pointed tool, and he was trying to punch a hole through, which was harness material, which is leather, and it slipped and missed and got him in the eye. Well, they took him way over and to this herbalist because they didn't have doctors in the area, and she mixed up some herbs and water, put it in his eye, put a cloth over it, and it got infected, went from the left to the right. He went completely blind. So then he went, a priest paid for him to go to Royal Blind College. He mastered the cello and the organ. And he met this captain from the Army. The Army was doing Morse code, and that's how Louis got the idea, well, maybe I can make this into a code for people who can't see. So he did. He started work on it when he was only a teenager, and he taught himself how to write, and he was also teaching others in the Royal College that he was at. And he worked on it. He made it from just the dots of Morse code. He made alphabet and numbers, and also a music code. So that's how it became that, and they took months and months for a board to say yes, that was because they had more than one code. They had moon dot, 16 point, and also, 14 point moon system that was raised letters and also dots. So it took them months to finally say yes, that they was going to adopt Louis' 6-dot system into recognition. And we was also the last country to come in for Braille, because
You mean America was the last country?
Huh?
You mean USA was last to come in?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, USA was the last to adapt to Braille, because they didn't think back then they didn't know nothing about it, and they didn't think anybody needed it, because they had this raised letters that people were reading with dots, which was the moon system. They didn't think that people needed it, because back then, people that was disabled, they would put them in an institute and leave them there. Even in America, they didn't believe that people that had disabilities should be able to have the same life as a sighted individual, which is sad. So we was the last country to adopt it. So that's what happened with the Braille, and now we can read it and write it, and it's our independence. We have the slate and stylus, which is, they call it our pencil and paper, just like the sighted individuals have their actual pencil and paper, which I used before because I could see. And the slate it's like a big metal square that has a hinge on the left and has this, looks like little windows on the front, and it's solid on the back, and then you open it, put your piece of paper, and it has these pins that locks it in. And then our stylus is the same thing, which Louis punched in his eye, and went blind from. It's called a stylus. It's a metal point rod, and it has like a plastic handle. It could have a one shaped like a dog bone, and other one's like a dresser knob, which is round. And he made it. He's the one that made the very first slate, which was hog wire and cardboard.
Oh, wow.
Yep, hog wire and cardboard, because that's all he had. He would pick up loose pieces of paper from from school, instruction paper, cardboard, whatever he could get his hands on, because back in the 1800s they didn't have much paper. So he made our slate, our stylus, the braille code that we use. I don't know if you want me to go in more detail
Well,
on things.
I'm just thinking more along the lines of where do you think Braille is now? Because a lot of people think with audiobooks and things that many blind students, and I know you'd thrown this at me, you said there was a percentage in America of children that are in school now.
There's only 3% of blind children that actually can read and write it, and it never will be dead hard copy Braille, because the instruction manuals that's printed, the books that teach the kids in the classroom, the teachers that need it, our American Printing House in Louisville prints a lot of that and sells it. And far as Braille, we even use it in technology now with all the Braille displays that they have now. So it's sort of combined. Hard copy will never die because of teaching.
Never thought of that, but it makes sense.
And so now we got our technology, but technology always breaks. I had experience with my phone that I'm talking on right now. I had another one that just died, and I wouldn't have known what to do if I hadn't recorded it on another device recorder. And then I wrote everything down. I made me a Braille phone book, an address book with a binder. So if I hadn't had the skills to write it down, I wouldn't have been able to read it and actually punch it into another telephone to call people. So I use Braille every day. I put it into a phone number, address. I write notes with it. I write stories. And way I help other people, I write packets and send them free matter for the blind. So I'm very, very stressed if we don't have Braille, we won't have our independence, because we won't be able to do anything on our own if we actually can't see it. Yes, all the devices are nice that read stuff, but really in the long run, I love to read it on my own.
I think most people would. Okay, when you lost your sight to the point where you couldn't see anymore, can you explain to folks how you found out about this place? And because I get the impression Kentucky doesn't seem to have as much of a backbone for that sort of teaching and things like as other states would have.
No, well, when I grew up, it was in the 80s, and we didn't really know about visually impaired stuff, or even VI teachers or any of that. I had help with that, and then when I went completely where I couldn't read, I done mostly audio, and then I learned from a lady one county over. Finally, we got a hold of, and she said there was this place that I could go learn Braille and different skills. I jumped on it because I wanted to be able to read again by myself.
No, that makes sense. And I don't think people understand how important that actually is. And I'm just
No, they don't.
I'm amazed that so few people in America are learning it. Do you know why that might be?
There's not enough Braille teachers, and there's not enough people promoting it, to be honest. I'm very hardcore on that. I try to do that every day. I'm in National Federation of the Blind group, and I do the Braille section for the group and give them a Braille report. So I'm very headstrong on promoting reading and writing. I know there's like 80%, like a percentage for adults that read it, and there's not many that read it or write it. It's because unless you're in a bigger city or unless you know somebody that's blind or visually impaired, you don't think you need Braille. And a lot of the teachers, they won't even teach you Braille unless you're completely blind, because they think if you can see even that large print, that's good enough. And it's not. You need to learn it when you can't, when you still can see some, because you can even put a blindfold on, and that way you know your stuff, you know your skills. And then when you do go completely blind, you're not like I was, oh no, how do I do this? You're starting at grade 1, kindergarten, first, preschool, first grade level again with even reading, because I'm only up to about a 7th grade reading level because I lost so many years of not being able to read and write. I even have trouble spelling because of that. I didn't see it with my hands and couldn't see it with my eyes, so now that I can, I try to read and write it every day because I want to be the best I can with spelling and stuff, because it's very crucial when you're writing like for if I'm going to go to college, I'll have to write it into the computer. Well, if I don't know how to do the stuff in Braille, how am I going to write it on the computer? Yes, computers will correct for you and do that, but how are you going to know the proper way to write a sentence unless you can read it from one to the other?
That's true. Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, living in a smaller town, what would be the reason to stay in a smaller town as a blind person? Is there a future there, or is it?
I'm not really sure on that.
Okay.
A lot of people are blind, go to the bigger cities, bigger places because of that. I'm staying because of my family. I love my family and also garden here. That's where I was at just a minute ago. I love the garden, and that's my passion.
Right on.
And I can teach, if I could get where I could teach from the house. I don't know, I might have to move eventually when I get my certification, but I will if I have to. But if I don't, I'll stay where I love it.
Yeah, that works. A lot of people are able to do that now with technology. There's folks working all over the world. They don't need to be in that city. So that's very possible.
Yeah, so it's very possible. I could teach from the house just like I do now. I volunteered already, so if I have a license, I could charge.
Hey, why not? And then you'd make money and put food on your table and whatnot. That's all good.
And stay here where I love it, and I can garden. So, because I'm in my degree, I want to get a major in education and a minor in agriculture, because there's nobody that teaches agriculture to the visually impaired blind in America either.
There's another market right there.
So that's my plan, and I love Braille.
Right on.
But if I hadn't found it when I did, I wouldn't be able to read or write. I wouldn't be able to spell.
That's
true. That's a big thing here. You can't read, you can't write, you're blind, so you're going to be stuck in a different place than somebody that can see and can read and write. So you're going to have to depend more on them. You're not going to be as independent as you can be if you can read it and write it. If you can read and write it, you can possibly get a job, do all your stuff on your own. Yes, of course, you still have to have help with the different, because I got an ORCAM, and it reads some of my printed mail that I can't read and different things. It's good, but when the days when the day ends, I'd rather pick up a piece of braille and read it than have a device read it for me, because you never know when that device is going to break, or you're going to be waiting on it because the battery's low and you
Mm-hmm.
forgot to charge it,
Yeah, that's
or
fair.
it completely breaks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I always go back to to braille. Braille is the number one thing that my strongest skill that I have. So I put it with writing recipes, cooking. I put it with my computer skills. My computer skills has gotten stronger. Anything that I'm weak in, I've put it with that, and it's gotten stronger.
Right.
Now I can travel with the uh, white cane. I don't live in a big city. I travel a little 2-lane road every day with the skills that I have. And if I did have to go to a bigger place, I would just have to get a little more training in that area. And I think I'd be fine because I already got the skills in my head. I'm just not practicing them every day. That's a big thing, too. With a bigger city, you can practice your skills more with walking and stuff than I can. Because I have no transportation in a rural area except for family.
Yeah, that's probably why a lot of the blind folks move to the larger cities, and that's
Yes, it is.
that's
And
a
that's understandable.
yeah, it is.
I always said if I could put this place here and then have transportation, I've had it made
Oh
because
yeah,
I'd have what I need and plus what I love.
well that works. What would you tell a parent if they suddenly find out their kid's blind and the you've pushed hard for Braille, and a lot of
Hmm.
parents have so much on their plate. They're like, well, shoot, the teacher knows best. He thinks, okay, they're using these talking computers. I guess that's it. How do you convince a parent and say, what would you tell a parent?
What would I tell a parent? I would tell the parent, yes, the computer's nice, but I'd tell that teacher and that parent, look, it's not going to do everything that the child needs. The child needs to be able to do reading and writing and arithmetic and math and all that. And if they don't have that braille skill that they need, they're not going to achieve a good life and a good job and have the life that they could if they learned braille. Just the basics. I mean, if they just learned the basics of it, grade one, uh, and go on to do grade two. There's two grades. But I mean, I would tell the parent, come to me. I I would talk to the parent and the teacher and say, look, this is what you need to do. You need to teach them Braille. If not, let me know and I'll find a resource for you. If you can't, because a lot of it's done on money, they can't afford it. They don't know where the grants is to get. They don't know where the supplies are to get. They don't know any resources to help them. And that's what I do. I'm on Facebook. I have 3 groups, and I posted that I had a bunch of books, and I'm sending them to grown-ups, children, whoever wants them. And I would say to the parent, look, you need to go to another blind adult that's proficient in Braille and talk to them, or even a Braille teacher that's been in teaching for a couple years, not 20 or 30, because they're burnt out. Um, but that's what I would tell the parents and the teacher. And if anybody wants to, they can come to me. I don't care where they're at. I'll, I'll sit them down and talk to them and say, look, the child needs this Braille really bad because if they don't have it, they're not going to be able to read and write on their own. Do you want them illiterate?
I
Would be
don't
my
think any
question
parent.
to
I
them.
don't think any parent would. I think any parent would say no. And I think that do you think it was a good idea to integrate children into the school system now? I mean, I don't know what it's like down there, but here we
Yes,
integrate
it
from day
is.
one.
Yes, it is because nowadays they have a new program where they can. It's by Duxbury. It's a software, that it translate the braille into print for the teacher, because all teachers don't know braille, and that way they can grade the child's um, papers just the same as a sighted child. So yes, it's a good integrate because social skills that they don't get when they're in a blind school, they don't get good social skills. They don't get what a real world is. And our world that we live in today is a sighted world. It's not a blind world where everything should have braille on it. Yes, we should have accommodations and braille should be on things, but when they're stuck in the schools like that, that's completely just everybody's blind or visually impaired. That's not good for them because they think
The whole
growing
world's
up,
going to be like that.
a whole world should be like this, and it's not. It's sighted. People have sight.
Mm-hmm.
It's very few that has that are blind or visually impaired in areas. So that's why I think it's a good thing for them to be integrated because social skills, they get to do stuff that the other ones can, and they have a lot of programs for younger children now. Recreation, they can teach them how to do recreation and different things, and just integrate them with the sighted kids because it's going to teach the sighted kids when they grow up. Oh, well, the, my blind friend's not that bad. They just can't see.
That's right.
They can do anything that we can,
There's
but
no
the
difference.
person just can't see.
No,
That's what we want everybody to know. We are just the same as they are. We just can't see.
Well, that's a very good message, and I mean, I would have expected that maybe America would be ahead of us, but I don't know. I guess each country's different, and I mean,
Yes.
it's different here because here in Canada we've got one agency, and down there you've got each state doing their own thing. So
Yep.
it depends what state you're in, apparently, depending on how good a service you get. If you're in Kentucky, well, yes, there is service, but
Well, we must have pretty good service. We have Tennessee and West Virginia come here
oh my,
to our center.
my goodness, all right.
So we must have pretty good
Yeah, that's what
services.
I'm thinking, right?
If they don't train in the center, um, it's really how determined the person is about how they want to learn. Really, because it's your training, so
Mm-hmm.
you put into what you get out of it. So if you put a 20% into the training, you're only going to get 20% out. If you get 110%, you're going to get 110% out of what you learn. So it's up to the person. It doesn't matter how good the training is or how bad the training is.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to the person. Like me, it was not like the other states, but I put in and I got out. Braille and mobility with the white cane. I got assistive technology.
Mm-hmm.
That's what assistive technology is. It's you can use this computer just like a sighted person with a text to speech screen reader, and it's the biggest one is JAWS, but they have NDVA, which is free, and then they have Narrator, which Microsoft just integrated into their computers in America. And let's see, what else? And then of course you got your iPhone, which I'm speaking on, with the voiceover and their products that has voiceover, but they're more expensive than a regular laptop.
Yep.
So it's according
to what you have.
You want to go to what you have and what you need to learn. So that's assistive technology, and the cooking, as they call it, home management. A lot of places, and it's where you go in, you learn how to cook. Not seeing, you have to learn different techniques to cut and what you cut away with the knife. And when you're opening the oven, you step away from it where you don't get the steam in your face. And you have to use gloves and different things. And you go more off of recipes than anything. You mostly cook simple stuff because it's not because you don't want to cook a real and big gourmet dinner. It's just you're cooking for yourself and maybe a couple other people, and you just want the basics.
Yeah,
Just learning how to cook.
You want your proteins and your veggies and all the stuff you're
Yeah,
going to need.
just like anybody else.
Sure.
And so you learn that, and then you learn how to clean with your hands, and you learn how to sweep, you learn how to mop, clean off counters, wash dishes, just everything, just
everything
like somebody that can see.
Do,
yeah, everything a sighted person would take the garbage out. And then you learn how to do your money. And with people can't see, they fold it different ways. Like, let's see, ones and tens is folded in like in half, long ways. And 50s is, not 50s, fives is in like a book. 50s is a different way. And then I think like bigger bills like that is like a triangle. You just fold them different ways. You sort of learn what they do, and then you make your own little.
As long as it's consistent and you do it all the time. Because down here
you have a wallet that has certain, like 2 or 3 pockets where you can put them differently too. Helps.
That does.
And what you have there, you saying?
Well, for here we have bills with markings on them for each type of bill. Now I don't know what they would have down there because
we don't have any kind of marking at the moment for braille. You talking about braille or?
It's a marking system, so it's like braille, but they're little braille cells. They're not actual braille. They're little 6-dot combinations, and so you'll have 1 block for a 5, 2 blocks for a 10, and they're underneath each other.
Okay. Well, we don't have that.
And it's on plastic money
America.
Here. Yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure what you had. So
no, it's all paper money still, and we don't have no braille system. They've been fighting the way up place. I think it's Congress to get them to make a system, but they said in order for them to make a system like that, they would have to redo all the money, and they just can't afford that.
Fair enough.
Is what they've been telling. What was the place that was trying to get it? American Council for the Blind, who's been trying to get it approved. That's another blindness organization we have in the States, and I think you have one in Canada too.
We have small ones, but CNIB, Canadian National Institute for the Blind, that Canadian National Institute for the Blind, that is our main one. So I guess it's really hard when a child loses their sight and the parents and people around them have to try and track it down in the States. I mean, it's because each state has their own type of school or whatever. I'm not sure how that works, but
they have how it works is they have each state has a play, like a school for the blind that does from infants up to 12th grade. We have one in Louisville. It's called Kentucky School for the Blind. I found out it later because we're so far out and not knowing anybody. My grandma, how I found it, my grandma was running a little country store, and her meat man's asked her if I couldn't see, because I was over on her card table at the time doing my homework with a big halogen spotlight. We called it my spotlight for my homework. And he asked her if I had vision problems. She said, yeah. He said, well, there's a school over in Louisville that she could go to. Well, I was too old at the time to do the main classes, but I went to summer camp for 3 times, and that did help, because I had no clue what a lot of things was. Not being with blind people and not knowing how they read and write and how they travel and how they cooked and cleaned and all that. So that helped me quite a bit, just going to summer camp with that. And that's our place now that we have for infants up to 12th grade. And each state has one of those in America. And I would even, if somebody come across this be saying is I would even go as far as helping them find a place in their area. That's what I do. I help people all the time finding resources and information. I have a Facebook group called Christina's Betty Go Hope that we do posting of different things on there, and I've had a lot of people come through that and just my Facebook and different groups I'm in asking, can you help with this? Or even word of mouth by my friends, can you help with this? Like one was one needed, they needed me to help them learn braille. That's been a lot of word of mouth. And whatever else the person needs, they might need a computer. I got a contact of, a computer for them, whatever they need. But I'm only one person, so I try to help as much as I can, and then whatever else they had to work on their own too, and I just try to be advocate for them and try to say, hey, this is what's in your area. I'll help them get started on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can go on themselves, and I'll check in ever so often, how you doing, whatever. I even done that with a guy that I didn't know through the National Federation of the Blind. I called his area and got the it's short for NFB chapter, come into his home, and they helped him with different skills and different things he needed. So I try to do that for everybody that I meet. But I say again, I'm just one body.
Yeah, that's all you can do. You work with what you have, right?
Yeah, with what I have, and if I have anything extra, I spread it along.
Yeah,
When I read a book, I put it on Facebook because I'm on a group for it's called Free Braille Book Giveaway, and I post them on there, and people will send me their addresses. I write them down, put them in envelopes, tape them up. I had to have my mom write the address on there because I can't see.
Right.
She writes the address on. We take it, put it in the mailbox, and the lady takes it on, and they get their books.
Hey, right on.
So I just try to help what I can.
That's all anyone
Since
can
I've
do,
been
right?
give back what I know, my knowledge. That's why I wanted to first start teaching Braille. And I remember going in one day to class, and our teacher, Abby, she had a staffing, which was a meeting for another student to see how good they was doing in their classes. And we had 2 other guys in the classroom. And I didn't have my book. I was reading a book. And so I opened her book and got them all situated and on the line and told them what they was reading and everything. And then I sat back down and started reading my book. And Abby, our teacher, come in. She said, who's been messing with my book? Because when you can't see, you know when stuff's moved.
Mm-hmm.
She knew her book was moved and opened to a certain spot.
Right.
And I said, it was me. I was playing teacher again. She just laughed.
Sure.
And she said, well, what'd you think? I said, I love it. I want to teach. I want to teach Braille. And ever since, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to teach Braille.
Well, I think you're well on your way.
Yeah. I had to volunteer to do it because she said no, I couldn't do it. And when everybody says no to me, that means yes. I want to do it. I'll find a way. That's how determined I am to be what I need to be. Hey. I don't care what the people say. I'll find a way to do it. And sometimes it's a little more rocky and harder than a sighted person, but I eventually get it accomplished.
Yeah, no, that's good wisdom for a lot of folks out there, because we've got folks all over the place listening to us, and that's great for those who have sight to realize that we're just like them.
Yes. Well, that's the NFB's motto. Blindness, don't let blindness hold you back.
Oh, very good motto, actually.
Yeah.
Very good motto. No, like I said, this is experimental for us. We're just trying something new, and
well, I appreciate the let me talk.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, and
okay.
Well, you have a great day.
Interested. You too.
All right, thank you.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
for having me.
You betcha.